As the Israeli military mobilizes on the ground, it's unleashing new airstrikes on Hamas targets in Gaza and enforcing a blockade of fuel and other crucial resources. CNN's Ben Wiedemann is covering it all for us. He's in southern Lebanon for us right now. Ben, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza seems to be growing worse by the hour.
Well, in fact, Wolf, the UN is describing it as dire, and I think the UN is rather understating the case. It sounds, by all accounts, that it's catastrophic, in addition to the fact that the death toll in Gaza has now exceeded 1,500. The health system, by all accounts, and according to the Palestinian Health Ministry, is in a state of collapse. All the things you need to run a hospital are slowly running out. The fuel for the generators that keep the hospitals running, medicine, basic supplies are simply not being replenished. And therefore, we're seeing that, for instance, in hospitals all around Gaza, many of the injured are simply put on the floor in the corridors. There are no beds left. The operating theaters are beyond capacity. Now, according to the United Nations, there are 50,000 pregnant women in Gaza who now have no access to health care, partially because of the fighting, but partially because the health workers and all the facilities are being focused on treating the injured. Now, speaking of the injured, earlier this evening, our colleague Christian Amanpour spoke to Dr. Ghassan Abu Sitte, who's a Palestinian British doctor who has been going to Gaza regularly. I've interviewed him many times, also in operating theaters while he's actually operating on the injured. And he says that among the wounded, 30 to 40% of them are children. And certainly there is a sense in Gaza that at this point, people feel that the ordinary civilians, they are simply being abandoned.
No one cries over us. There's no chivalry, no feelings. Hearts are dead. Only shocks and body parts remain. People are blind to this. People can't find food in their homes, and there's an extremely tough social condition in Gaza. Siege above the siege, and all of this is happening because of the siege. Where should our people go? We've been besieged for 18 years. Where should we go?
And of course, where can they go? They cannot go anywhere. The border to Egypt is closed. They can't go into Israel. The United States and other European powers are trying to figure out some sort of humanitarian corridor so Palestinian civilians who can get out of Gaza. But at this point, no progress on that front. Wolf.
Ben Wiedemann reporting for us. Ben, thank you very much. Let's turn to the second.